The terror in nightmares becomes the terror in vinyls. Here's your look at the new Cryptozoic Entertainment vinyl Terrorz, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Yes, this Dream Stalker now gets a new vinyl collectible, thanks to the folks over at Cryptozoic for making this review possible. I suspect the very first thing we'll do is figure out how tall Freddy Krueger stands. So taking my very trusty tape measure to the very top of his fedora, I can tell you, members of the mob, that the vinyl Terrorz of Freddy Krueger stands 8 inches exactly. Which in centimeters, let me go ahead and do that right now. Centimeters, you're looking at 20.5 centimeters tall. The statue, let me go ahead and grab that right now, depicts one Fred Krueger standing on top of flooring, which what I could describe probably as best being the flooring from the boiler room. Of course, his home away from home. The statue is permanently affixed to it, so it's not something that would be coming off. Rather a starting point to talk about in this review, I kind of like the fact that they've got his foot slightly perched, as if he's kind of ready to lunge himself forward. Just kind of gives a little extra bit of elements to depth, a little bit of movement in the piece itself. I kind of like that. As for the display base itself, other than for the fact it is the interior flooring there of the boiler room, that's what it looks like on the underside here. Let me flip it around. Vinyl Terrorz, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger vinyl collectible. And then, of course, you've got Cryptozoic Entertainment. I always really like that logo. That kind of skull with the horns sticking out of the middle there. Kind of like some sort of demon unicorn skull. Yeah, sign me up for that. But that's what it looks like on the underside. It seems as if the base itself probably was done and casted in a black plastic, and then likely they probably just dry brushed the brown over top of that. It could have been the other way around, starting with brown and adding to black, but clearly it does look like they've started with one color of plastic, and a very successful accomplishment, just added additional coat of paint in a different color. As we move our way further up, his shoes, as you can see, are brown. His slacks are also brown, actually of a similar color of brown. Almost, you would even say for yourself looking at this, it's the same color of brown completely. As we continue our way up, we are treated to Freddy post part 1. The reasoning why I say that is for the fact that his sleeves clearly have stripes on it, so we can immediately dismiss the fact that this is Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street, the very first one. Whatever Freddy you would want to attach this Fred Krueger to, whatever nightmare you would want to attach this Freddy Krueger to. Again, it's really neat the way they've gone and simplified the character, kind of giving his bare bones basics on the figure. It kind of reminds me actually of a caricature, and the reasoning for that is the oversized ears that they've given actor Robert Englund. And Robert Englund does have large ears, probably not to this size, but I like the fact that they've kind of given him over-exaggerated features such as the large ears. His portrait is a rather small head. Though if you really look at it, the head proportionately is a lot bigger than the rest of his body. So I kind of like that super deformed nature of this Freddy Krueger. The striping on the sweater is done quite nicely. It looks like actually not only have they added the trademark green and red striping to his sweater, but it looks like they've also added a little bit of weathering in there as well via what looks to be like a dark paint, just kind of speckled on there. Speaking of speckling, one can't help but look at Freddy Krueger's burnt hand. You really can only see one of them because, of course, the other one is going to be wearing his trademark glove. It's not quite what looks to be dry brushing. It kind of looks like they might have even gone in and airbrushed some little scarring points there on his flesh. Kind of like that. The fingers themselves all kind of look like they're the same length. I would be curious as to when the opportunity, if obviously there one wasn't going to be provided, for him to extend out those fingers. I would imagine those fingers, probably a couple of these may be the exact same length to one another, but that's okay. Again, it's a super deformed representation of Freddy Krueger. Having a look at his glove before we look to his face, the glove is done in green with a little bit of kind of bronze plating added there before we get to the finger blades. Of course, Freddy's got to have finger blades, and the finger blades all represented there in at least 4 of the 5 digits. The 5th digit being the thumb, and of course he doesn't have a finger blade right there. Like I said though, I like the head sculpt. I like that they didn't simply just paint in the areas of the scarring. Instead, they actually sculpted that in and then painted those accordingly. His crystal blue eyes are a nice touch, as well as the fact that I like that he's smiling. I did notice though, if you flip the statue up, you can see that there's a little bit of kind of paint that's not quite cracked, but it looks like it's not completely finished down to the section in which it's going to attach to his rather tattered and ripped sweater. Again, there's just a little point right there. It doesn't look like it's completely finished in paint. There is no posability on this guy. His head doesn't rotate or anything like that, nor does his arms or hands. So he's pretty much a staction representation of Freddy Krueger. There's a full turnaround of what his head sculpt looks like. Again, I really like the indentations, even like the scarring behind the ear. I don't know why I'm so happy by the fact that they put scarring behind his ear, but at least for as large of a landscape that they have to work with for those giant ears, I like the fact that at least that they added some scarring back there as well. A little bit of the paint, just maybe slightly unfinished there at the base of his neck. Really, it's the only place where I see paint that may have not been finished, is really just around the neck area. Certainly from a distance, though, you're not going to really see that. What you are going to see, though, is a rather devilish, smiling Freddy Krueger looking right back at you. As for his fedora, they've gone the route of giving it a more shinier finish, rather than a matte finish, and you can see some speckling there of a black mixed happily with the same similar type of brown that he has in his slacks. As for the pose, I really do, again, like the pose. Kind of looks like he is in the presence or in the starting point of a stalk. Possibly some teenager has quickly already run down the hallway, and Freddy's about to pursue that. Another route they certainly could have gone with is his trademark look, the gunslinger trademark look that Freddy's known for as well, where he's got the arm draped down by the weight of the glove, kind of just weighing his hand down. But I do really like that this is the look that they decided to go with. His claw up, ready to be used, ready to terrorize, if you will. Again, really nice looking Freddy Krueger. There's a couple of different variations of this guy available as well. I believe it is a Hot Topic version of this guy. An exclusive is going to have a basically the same vinyl as what we're seeing right here, but it's going to be depicting Freddy Krueger with a skull face. There's also a slightly more burnt offering of Freddy Krueger with a much more darker gray color scheme. I think it's more grays and reds. This is just the original one that they were nice enough to send my way, but certainly would, if I do get the opportunity and manage to pick up the other ones as well, we're going to have a look at those also on this channel, so stay tuned. Now, usually when a company releases a collectible under a new banner, like the Vinyl Terrorz, for example, it's a telltale sign that we may be getting future offerings under this brand new banner. I hope that's the case, and FYI, to Cryptozoic Entertainment. I love the fact that you added a Z on the end of Terrorz. Kind of throws me back to the 80s where everything was swapped out from S's to Z's and Z's just to make it cooler. I got to admit, adding a Z to the end of Terrorz definitely makes it a lot cooler. But going back, I'm sidetracking here, going back to a point that I was just making, the fact that they have used the branding and banner of Vinyl Terrorz, I hope this opens the doorway, a dark doorway, down a passageway in which we're going to be getting future Vinyl Terrorz. As great as they've done a super stylized version of Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger, I hope that opens the door as well to getting maybe the Camp Crystal Lake Killer, Jason Voorhees. You know, I am a sucker when it comes to Jason Voorhees, and I'm certainly, again, all the different characters that they could do under this super deformed line of vinyl figures. A Chucky, for example, a Pinhead, a Candyman, a Ghostface. The options, the examples are endless. And again, I hope it's not just going to stop with a Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger. Again, there's a couple of different variations available for this Dream Stalker. There's going to be an all kind of gray color scheme. That's a variant exclusive of Freddy Krueger here. And there's also the, I believe it is a Hot Topic exclusive that shows basically the same type of figure, same stance, same pose, except Freddy Krueger is going to be having a skull face. How cool is that? I'm going to see if I can get my hands on that one. Certainly not something that I can find in local retail stores. You probably would want to source out for these ones comic book stores and kind of specialty stores like GameStops, EB Games, Spencer Gifts. All those places that generally sell vinyl collectibles are your best place to source out if you're looking to stock and claim the Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger under the new Vinyl Terrorz. Again, a big thank you to the folks over at Cryptozoic Entertainment that were very nice enough to send this my way. As soon as they said that they were able to send over Vinyl Terrorz of Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger, I might have just leapt out of my seat, let out a girlish glee, and was very anxious to have a look at this guy because I had already saw images of Freddy Krueger online, and I was so excited to get this guy reviewed and showcased to you guys, the viewers. Let me know down below what you guys think of the new Vinyl Terrorz Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger from the folks over at Cryptozoic Entertainment. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you turn on that notification bell. Yeah, you got to make sure you turn on the notification bell and even subscribe. Because you maybe are somebody that watches these videos on a regular basis and you're now just realizing yourself, hey, wait a minute, I've been watching this guy for like the last 4 years. I don't even think I've subscribed to his channel. Shame, 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 double shame on you. Make sure you turn on that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and stay tuned because future videos are going to be coming soon to this channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.